So I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. As usual, we've got the PDF instructions, all of the MPC files that you need, and of course the step-by-step video that follows this introduction. So I hope you'll enjoy the project, and we'll see you soon. Next step is to separate these parts from the board, but before I do that, I just want to mark this back panel, and I'm just going to put a letter B here. And the reason I'm doing that is so that when I take these out of the board, I want to be sure that this side is the back side. So the front and this part will be glued together with an alternating grain, if you will. Not perpendicular to each other, but back to back. So this side of this will get the glue, this side is the actual back side. Okay, so I'll separate these from the boards and come back to you after I get that done, and then we'll glue up these parts together. After making sure that I don't have any fuzzies that are going to interfere with the glue up on both of these pieces, I'm going to glue the front panel to the back panel. And remember, I marked that with a B, that's the back. So I'm going to flip this over and put the glue on this side, because this side is the back of the clock. Okay, and then as far as lining up these, you just want to line this up. It's not critical here, but you just want to line this up so basically you see there's equal space around this circle. This is where the clock insert fits in. So the back side's not critical, but you want to get it fairly close. Okay, so I'll apply some glue and spread this around to the edges, and then I'll clamp that until dry. Okay, I've got that glue spread around pretty good, and it's tacked up a little bit, so I'll put these together. And I'm just rotating this to more or less give an equal distance there around that circle. Okay, and then of course the final sanding, I haven't done any sanding on this at all really to the sides or the tool marks or tabs or anything. So I'll glue this together, clamp it, let it dry, and then I'll do the final sanding, probably some of it by hand and some of it with a small belt sander. Okay, it's all glued up, and I'm just going to remove the remnants of these tabs inside using my spindle sander. I've also got my clock insert here, so I can just test fit the clock insert inside that clock mounting hole after I've sanded. So you want that to be a snug fit, not too tight, not too loose, but the clock insert does have these little tabs you can bend out if necessary, just to make a tighter fit if you over sand that a little bit, so it's not a big deal. Okay, I'll just test fit the clock in here. Okay, I just sanded off the tabs, and that is sufficient for a tight fit. I'll bend those tabs out a little bit to make it a little bit tighter, but we got a good fit there. Okay, I've got all the details sanded, and I've got the edges sanded nicely so they blend in together. I'm going to apply a 50-50 mix of denatured alcohol and Zinsser seal coat overall. And what that'll do is it'll begin to seal the wood a little bit, and also if there are any fuzzies that need to be raised and sanded off, this will help stiffen them up a little bit. So I'll apply first coat and sand it afterwards, and then if I need another coat, I'll go ahead and apply another coat of this 50-50 mixture, denatured alcohol and seal coat, and we'll go from there. Alright, I put one coat of the seal coat, and then I just sanded off any remaining fuzzies, and now I'm getting ready to apply a stain. I'm going to use this golden mahogany stain from Rust-Oleum, the Ultimate Wood Stain. Dries in about an hour. So I've stirred it up really well, and I've got a couple brushes here. I've got one disposable brush, brand new, and then I've got another one that I just wiped off stain from a previous project and let it stiffen it up. I like to keep that on hand just in case I need to do some sort of a graining or brushing glaze effect or whatever. And then I've got several rags that I'll use as I go ahead and stain this. So I'll go ahead and apply this stain, and then I'll come back and finish up this portion of the project. Okay, I've applied the stain, and I've wiped most of it off with some rags, and I've sort of stippled this stain on. It's almost like a second coat after I've wiped off most of it. And I've stippled it on there a little bit. This stain, like I say, dries pretty fast, and so you can sort of go over this and make it a little bit darker, even up the grain a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is just sort of wipe off selectively some of these flower carvings just to give a little bit more contrast. So I'm just going to wipe with the rag here just to give a little bit of accent and contrast to some of these relief carvings here. Okay, I think that's going to look pretty good. We'll get that final clear coat on. So I'll just let this dry. And I'll come back when we're ready to put on the clear. Okay, the stain's all dry, and I've already started putting on the clear coats. I'm just putting on several light coats of the Krylon Clear Gloss, and then at the very end I'll finish off with a couple light coats of Krylon Satin just to take the shine off of the gloss. Okay, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and finish up the project. The finish is all dry, so I'm ready to put my picture hanger wire just across here and attach a couple of screw eyes and stretch the picture wire across there for the nail or screw in the wall to hang on. Now you actually could skip this step. I just like the picture wire for a little extra insurance and maybe a little more leeway adjusting if the clock is hanging straight or not, but really you could probably just hang this from a nail You know, if it's sticking out far enough away from the wall, so you might even be able to just skip this step, but I'm going to go ahead and go ahead with it. So what I did, I just laid a ruler across the large hole here and just marked a couple spots, and then I started the holes for the screw eye using an awl just to poke a hole in there, just give me a starter hole. So I'll go ahead and take some of this picture wire and twist one length around one end around one of these screw eyes. And I like to use needle nose pliers to just get that good and tight. Okay. And I'll screw that in on one side and then stretch that across to get me a length and cut it to where it's a good length and twist it around the other end of the other screw eye, just to make it kind of tight across there, and that'll give us that wire to hang over the nail or the screw hanging out of the wall. Okay, so I'll come back after I get all that done and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm just getting a little closer here for you so you can see what's going on. So I've got this picture wire, so it clears this area where the clock's going to be inserted, and then you hang this over the nail. So I've twisted it taut around this side, and I'll just clip that off. And we'll insert the clock. And I'll just pan this out a little bit so you can see a little better. So there we have it, our springtime clock.